Hey guys, this is Dorian, username Alkali78. So my first video on doing a minimal GUI installation, I already got a few comments on various forums and websites, and mostly good, but I got a few people who are extreme minimalists, and they're saying, but Dorian, I don't want to install LightDM. I don't want a display manager. I just want OpenBox and then start building up from there. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. Again, we are starting off with the Ubuntu Mini ISO. So just Google Ubuntu Mini ISO. Click on the very first link. Pick your architecture, and I'm using Ubuntu 16.04 LTS. And then install that, and you end up with this. Log in, nothing but a prompt. So first thing that we're going to do, we are going to install the X server. So sudo apt install. You're going to install xinit, xinit password. So you install this, and it's going to install all these dependencies. So all these X server packages, which is going to give you your graphical server, so you can load a window manager. Again, we're going to use OpenBox, and this will let you have actual windows and a desktop. And what I'm also going to do, I'm going to pause it while I do this. Once we get our GUI up and running, I'm going to install the VirtualBox guest editions, because that'll let you it'll let me view this virtual machine in a full screen window, and it'll just make it a lot easier for you guys. And what I'm also going to do is install Terminator, which is a terminal emulator that lets you change the font and the colors and everything, because I find just using the default terminal emulator in the X server, the font's very, very small, so it's going to be hard for you guys to see. And so I'm doing this for you guys. So now this is done, and next I'm going to install OpenBox, which is our window manager. So sudo apt install OpenBox. I'm also going to install Terminator while I'm at it, and I'll worry about the rest later. Yes. This is 200 and something megabytes that it's downloading here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this, wait for this to finish. Actually, no, I'm not. It's going a lot faster than I thought. My internet is fast most of the time, but not always. So, and we're back up to 40 seconds. So anyways, what can I talk about for 30 seconds? So what we're going to do is we're going to get into a graphical environment, and once we get into that and I set a few things up, after that I can get into showing you how to automatically start the X server, and even how to automatically log in, because right out of the box when we set it up, when you start up your machine, you're still going to have the text-based login. You're going to log in, then type in startx to actually start the X server. So we want to automate those two things. So you just fire it up, and it goes right to a desktop. And I guess maybe I should have paused it, but that's okay. I'm going to reboot the machine, and I'll just quickly show you the desktop, how it looks. You've seen it before. It's OpenBox. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install the VirtualBox guest editions. So let's do a reboot. And again, this will bring us back to our text-based non-graphical login. like so. Because we haven't set the OS to do anything yet. All we've done is installed a couple of things. So from here we can go startx. Now we have OpenBox. So the X server fired up our graphical server, and it started up OpenBox. So here we have Terminator. Had I not installed Terminator, it would be the default Xterm terminal emulator. So at this point, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to make my fonts bigger. I'm going to install the guest editions so you guys have a nice full screen to look at. So give me 1 second. Okay, and we're back. So I've installed the guest editions. So now I can go like so and log in. And now when I start my X server, my screen resizes full screen. So this should make things easier for you. And you know what? While I was doing that, I should have done this. There we go. Is that easier to read? Yeah. All right. So let's go full screen. So now we're at the point where we were in my other video. You've got a terminal and a background, and now we can do the same type of stuff that we did before. You'll notice I still have the black lines on the top and the bottom. The VirtualBox additions, there we go. They don't work every single time. If you're not using VirtualBox, it's not an issue, but anyways. So we are going to now install Tint2, Docky, because I like it, Nitrogen, and Xcomp Manager. About 50 megabytes. It's not too bad. Do that. And while we're at it, start another terminal here. And we're going to go into the config because, unlike last time, there is no OpenBox folder. So we're going to make one. And there we go. OpenBox, and we're going to nano, because we don't have a text editor, go autostart.sh. So we have added all that software. So we're going to do tint2 ampersand docky ampersand. The ampersands allow the program to run without waiting for it to exit. So it'll just carry on doing all the other commands. We're going to go nitrogen restore so that it remembers the last background that we set. And we're going to do xcomp mkdir, which is our compositor. Control O, enter to save, Control X to exit. And you know what? I'm also going to load our wallpapers. You don't have to do this if you have wallpapers that you like already that you can load from a USB or another computer or whatnot. I don't have any in this virtual machine. I'm sure I could use one from my computer, but either way, this works. And what else are we going to want? Well, that should be it now. Actually, I'm also going to install leafpad. So I have a graphical editor. Nano works fine, but just so that you guys can have something to to look at. And I'm also going to install the LXDE task manager and the LXDE's customized look and feel applications, which is, so let's do install. I'm going to do leafpad, the LXDE task manager, and LX appearance. They're all small, easy to do. Alright, so we've installed our nitrogen, which I can actually start up now, so that I can go to preferences and add the folder where the wallpapers are, which is user, share, backgrounds, select, OK. And let's pick this one, apply. And we'll do zoomed fill, apply. Close, and now we'll reboot. So up to this point, we have our text-based login. We startx, that will start OpenBox, and OpenBox will start tint, docky, nitrogen, which is our background manager, and the compositor. So startx, OpenBox fires up, and it fires up all our apps for us. I don't want docky here, so I'm going to move it here. And what else would we want? Now I've started Terminator. Okay, I'm going to install PCManFM and vaulty. PCManFM is a file manager, and vaulty is our little sound icon that we'll add in the system tray. Speaking of which, also install pavview control, which vaulty uses. And then we can start PCManFM just so that we can pin it. Close that. Pavview control, because usually it's muted by default. So unmute that. Make sure that's not muted. Okay, and then if we start vaulty, there you have your volume control. So we're actually going to Control C to kill that, because I want to have it start when OpenBox starts. So we edit our .config OpenBox auto start file, and then here I'm going to add vaulty. Save, exit. And leafpad, let's pin this as well. And if we go PCManFM, here, one thing, I'll go to this. I'll make everything a little easier for you guys to read. Let's go 12, 12, 12. There we go. So if we go to our applications here, preferences, you have customized look and feel, which is the LX appearances, or LX appearance package we installed earlier. Click on that. Icon themes, pick a nice icon theme, apply. Now we have nice icons. And I'm going to also install Firefox, just so I can quickly show you guys a bit of audio, and then we're going to carry on to the auto login. So I'm just going to pause it now, let Firefox finish, and then we'll get into the auto login. Okay, so Firefox has been installed. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. And we're going to pin that to the dock. Close that. I can close this and I could just use the dock. Docky doesn't hide by default. So you go IntelliHide, close. I also showed you in my other video how to get rid of this anchor, so I'm not going to cover that again. So just fire up an app here, and knife versus Coca-Cola.
Alberta's climate leadership starts January 1st and includes energy efficiency grants for Alberta.
Okay, so that's working, but I just noticed my little vaulty app is not there. So let's see if maybe I misspelled it. Or no, you know what? It's because I haven't rebooted. And do that now. Our lightweight app is nice and quick, so it's not really a problem. Lightweight OS, I should say. Password, startx. So, there we go. Now we have our volume. Let's try that again. Alright. I can hear it in my headset, so I can only assume that you guys hear it as well. What else was I going to cover? Oh right, I wanted to quickly show you LXTask. So we're using about 200 megabytes right now, but we started Firefox and this, that, whatever. When you first boot it up, it's actually using about 150 megabytes. I can show you that again later. For now, I'm going to install OB menu, yes, which will just allow me to add a new item, task manager, LXTask. So save. Now we have task manager right here. Alright, I apologize, I was distracted and taken away for a minute. Okay, so what did we just do? We added our task manager. Next we're going to take care of the auto login and the auto start of the GUI without using a display manager. So what we have to do here, now I'm going to make a directory. You don't have to try to follow along and type as I'm doing this. I'm going to put all this in the description, so you can just copy and paste it, or you can copy it and follow along at your own pace later on. So I'm going to make a directory, create parents, verbose, etc. It's going to go in the systemd folder, system. Don't forget this part, it's in systemd and system. If you just put it in systemd, it's not going to work. It has to be in systemd, system. Getty, which we just installed earlier, tty1 dot service dot d. Don't forget the dot d. Password, create a directory. Okay, I'm just going to hit up and just kind of cheat here. And we're going to go nano editor / autologin.conf. Alright, now in here, we're going to create a service. I've found a lot of hacky ways to do this, and I found this somewhere, but I found that you have to do ExecStart equals and leave it blank, and then do another. If you only do one, you don't do the top blank one, for some reason it does not work. So we're going to go sbin, agetty, and autologin with your username. Don't put Dorian, put your username. And noclear, we want it on TTY1. And that. So just read it again, make sure I'm not making any mistakes. TTY1. Alright, Control O to write, Control X to exit. Now you're going to enable it. System control, enable getty at tty1.service. Yes. It's going to ask you twice for your password. Authentication complete. And then we're going to create or modify your startup script so it starts the X server for you. So that was the auto login that we just did. So now we're going to do a no, we don't need nano or sudo, sorry. So we're going to go, yeah we do, nano home folder .bash profile. Now in here you need a little script. Again, I'm going to put this in the description so you don't have to try to do this and pause the video and whatever as you're going along. Equals 1. I'm sure you guys are probably aware your TTY terminals, by default you're in your TTY terminal 1, and if you do Alt Control F2 you end up going into terminal 2 and so on. Okay, so and execute startx. So we're going to write that. Yes. Exit. Yeah. So now I'm going to reboot. Our auto login should start up and log us in, and then our second script should start the X server. Fingers crossed. Moment of truth. I've done this a couple of times. Okay, well, the auto login worked. Let's let's check this again. I know what I did. This, did I do a typo? Yes, I did. Why can't I see my cursor? Oh, I cancel. That's what happens when I'm talking and typing. So xdg, all kinds of backwards here. Right. Don't worry, the proper version will be in the description. So now, I'm going to reboot. Can't talk and type very well. Oh, it depends what I'm talking about, I guess. So there we go. We automatically logged in by using that the run getty package that we installed, and using that autologin.conf file, and then using the bash profile, I had it so that it automatically starts X as soon as you log in. Now if you do Control-Alt F2, you can still log in. Now this is TTY2. You can go TTY3, and you can do something different. Go back to 2 and go back to 1. On normal normal Ubuntu, or really any installation, normally it's TTY7 that's the GUI. You can change that if you want, but it doesn't really matter. It's honestly just a number. So anyways, there we have a very basic minimal install. Let's just do a task manager here. You can see we're using 171, 173 megabytes of RAM, which is pretty good. We were using about 250 on the first video I did, so yeah, let's see. The less you install, obviously, the less memory you're going to use, but this is it's fairly snappy. And yeah. Anyways, I hope you don't want to see an even more stripped down. I mean, I can strip more away if you want, but it gets to a certain point where you're just losing functionality. So, one point about the way that we set this up. When you exit OpenBox, it's going to go back and it's going to reload it. So you can't log in as another user. You can do that by doing your Alt Control F2 and log in as another user here, and then I guess you could start X. So really, things start to get a little funny. Like, there's no background now. The app still works. So this is TTY2. We can go Alt Control F1. Now we're back in TTY1. So you can do this. You're basically logged in twice. Yeah, it's up to you if you want to auto login or not, or auto start X or not. The whole point was installing this and getting a working desktop with even less things installed. So this is without Display Manager. And sorry, the line at the bottom, it's really just I'll show you here. Oops, I think I started Firefox. It's nitrogen. On my last video too, I showed you how to add here, change background and everything. You can go have a look at that. But yeah, what you're seeing down here, this line, it's basically just when the VirtualBox resizes, it does funny things here. So that's nothing to be concerned about. That's a VirtualBox thing. So anyways, that's it for now. I hope that was minimal enough for you. And if you have any more questions, comments, you want me to try something else, I don't know, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and any questions or comments, I'll try to answer them as best I can. Other than that, that's it for me. I'm out, so bash on.